Hi, my name is Shireen El-Ahmad, and I interviewed an Eritrean immigrant. She had requested that I not use her name in order to protect her identity, so I will call her Sarah. This is a great story and it's very inspirational. It's amazing what people have done and continue to do in order to come here and reach the American dream. As most of you may know, there was a 30-year war going on between Eritrea and Ethiopia to fight for independence. It was gruesome and quite frightening. A lot of people were getting killed, lands were being destroyed, and she had chosen to get out and be free. Sarah had fled Eritrea between 1980 to 81 because she had wanted to come to America, the land of infinite possibilities. She came to America with nothing in her pockets and had worked so hard to reach the American dream. But before doing so, she immigrated to other countries and overcame various obstacles throughout this long journey. No one had discouraged her because she had believed that she deserved a chance to come here. There were those who thought that the youth who escaped were traitors because they ran away from joining the military, and that they were a disgrace to their country, but people were suffering and she had wanted to leave in order to help her family. Her family was considered upper class in Eritrea because her father had owned a lot of cattle, farmland, farm animals, and that came along with all of the wealth, the prestige, and status. She was very young, only 16 years old when she had left. She loved school and wanted to go on to college and study science because that was one of her favorite subjects in school, and she was quite good. After high school, they were required to join the military in Sawa, which is near the Red Sea. She didn't want to join the military and wanted a better life for herself instead. She was a courageous young girl with a lot of dreams because she had chosen to take the risk to flee by foot to Sudan, which is 661 miles away, but she did it. And it only took her a week to flee there by foot. All she held on to was nothing but pictures of her family to keep her going and give her hope. While she fled by foot, she hid behind the cows and fled in the dark and ate anything they found on the land. Sarah and her childhood friends fled barefoot with nothing on their backs but hope and determination that they get somewhere safe. It wasn't safe at the time to cross the border because of the military, but they did it anyways because they couldn't see the horror of the war going on between the two countries for another day. They stayed in the mountains, near villages, away from the cities so they couldn't be seen. They didn't have food, but just ate from scrapes they found or food the villagers had offered to give them. When she arrived to Sudan, she then wanted to migrate to Canada after saving money and getting help from a Christian missionary group. So she applied for the visa and had to wait to have her application approved, before going to Canada, which took 2 years. In 1983, missionary groups had helped her flee from Sudan to Canada, and so she migrated through buses and planes. That being so, she worked for a family in Canada. Sarah took care of the house, the children, did housework, and played with the kids. After 1 year, she was approved to come to the U.S. While she was working for this family, a man who later became her husband had known this family she worked for, and they were his childhood friends. And that is how they met. She met her husband when he came to Canada to see his family. He had a U.S. citizenship, so they married in Canada in 1987, had a baby in 88, then came to the U.S. Language barrier had affected Sarah enormously in this long journey because she hadn't known any English when she came here. She worked in a key factory making very little money. I asked her what she had gained and lost from immigrating to the US, and she responded to me by saying that she had gained freedom but lost all of her family. Another question I definitely found interesting was when I asked if she thought she had successfully reached the American dream. She responded, and I quote, "Oh yes, I work hard, I have wonderful kids, job, family, friends, support, I am thankful. People suffer in this world to come to America, and I am very thankful I made it and that it was very much easier for me to come than it is now." But what got me through this journey was that I prayed every single day. I personally think that this story, is just very fascinating. She was very young and scared, but very brave for what she did, which is a heroic journey in itself. Thanks for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed this story as much as I did.